Hello everyone, Team709 here on the No Limit YouTube channel page for this week's Deck Doctor segment. This week we are covering FlareAlex's Chaos Dragon deck. This is something that I've actually played with quite a bit, and not only in the past, but of recent, or as of late. It's something that I thought actually had a decent amount of potential when it came to like the Shaddoll matchup, just because you can summon a lot of decently big monsters that are bigger than Midrash to take care of it, and outside of that, like you can still easily get rid of things like Nephilim or Construct, I guess if you want to call it that, things like that. So I mean, it's something that I've actually seen a lot of potential in, both in like late last format and the current format. So it's just something that I felt like covering. I want to make a quick note. FlareAlex I think he forgot a card in his extra deck, so there's only 14 cards in the initial build's extra deck. I made sure to double count it just to make sure, and it was 14 cards. But I don't know what the last card was, so I just kind of added something into the fixed build. So just kind of want to make a quick note about that. And before we get any further into this, I'd like to remind people that if they haven't already, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. And if you have a deck that you would like to have fixed in a future like video or segment or whatever, be sure to message it here on the No Limit YouTube channel page by going to the channel itself, clicking about, and clicking send message. And you can type it up, or you can send us a Dropbox link to a YDK file for Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro or Dev Pro. And yeah, either works. So let's just get into his build, and then we'll get into the fixed build. And yeah. So starting off with the monsters, we have one Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, one Blackluster Soldier Envoy at the beginning, one Dark Arm Dragon, one Gorz, the Emissary of Darkness, 3 Light Pulsar Dragon, 1 Chaos Sorcerer, 3 Dark Flare Dragon, 2 Raiden Hand of the Lightsworn, 3 Lila Lightsworn Sorceress, 1 Eclipse Wyvern, 1 Felice Lightsworn Archer, 1 Honest, 2 Divine Dragon Apocalypse, 1 Torbus from the Underworld, 3 Torguide from the Underworld, 1 Minerva Lightsworn Maiden, 1 Necrogarna, 2 Card Trooper, 1 Night Assailant, and 1 Raikou for the monsters. For the spells, we have 2 Solar Recharge, 1 Dark Hole, 2 Soul Charge, 1 Gold Sarcophagus, and 1 Charge of the Light Brigade. And rounding up the deck with the traps is the 2-dimensional prisons. For the extra deck, like I said, he only has 14. I think he forgot a card, so whatever, no big deal. But yeah, for what he has for the extra deck, we have 1 Scrap Dragon, 1 Mikhail, the Arch Lightsworn, 1 Black Rose Dragon, 1 Ptolemy M7, 1 Photon Strike Bouncer, 1 number 61 Volcasaurus, 1 number 50 Black Ship of Corn, 1 number 101 Silent Honor Arc, 1 Castel, the Avian Sky Blaster. I'm just going to go by the images here. 1 Evil Storm Excite Knight, 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Leviathan Dragon, 1 Levier the Sea Dragon, and 1 Zimmanes. So yeah, obviously with the recent release of the Lightsworn structure deck giving us access to Raiden, as well as Minerva gives us a few Lightsworn specific tuners that we can kind of make a lot of use out of, which is always kind of fun. And then there's of course Felice, who is also in the most recent set as an ultra rare. So a lot of good cards that got released for the whole Lightsworn thing, which adds to the whole Chaos Dragon deck, considering that's what they used to do, was use the Lightsworn engine, and they still kind of do. So yeah, let's just get into the fixed build, and then we'll kind of cover changes and whatnot. So starting off with the monsters, we have 1 Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, 2 Tragodia, 1 Blackluster Soldier, 1 Dark Arm Dragon, 3 Light Pulsar Dragon, 2 Chaos Sorcerers, 3 Dark Flare Dragons, 3 Raiden Hand of the Lightsworn, 3 Lila Lightsworn Sorceress, 1 Eclipse Wyvern, 2 Lumina Lightsworn Summoner, 3 Torguide from the Underworld, 1 Scar Malbranch of the Burning Abyss, 1 Minerva Lightsworn Maiden, and 2 Card Trooper for the monsters. For the spells, we have 3 Solar Recharge, 2 Soul Charge, and 1 Charge of the Light Brigade. And rounding the deck off with the traps, we have 3 Trap Stun and 2 Breakthrough Skill. For the extra deck, we have 1 Leo, Keeper of the Sacred Tree, 1 Scrap Dragon, 1 Mikhail the Arch Lightsworn, 1 Black Rose Dragon, 1 Goyo Guardian. We have 1 Constellar Ptolemy M7, 1 Photon Strike Bouncer, 1 number 61 Volcasaurus, 1 number 101 Silent Honor Arc, 1 Castel the Avian Sky Blaster, again going by the image because it's just easier. 1 Evil Storm Excite Knight, 1 number 17 Leviathan Dragon, 1 Ghost Trick Alucard, 1 Levier the Sea Dragon, and 1 Dante Traveler of the Burning Abyss. So yeah, there's a few things here that we made obvious changes to. Starting off with the monsters, we dropped Gores, Raikou, Felice, Honest, Divine Dragon, and Proclyph, both of them, Torbus, Night Assailant, and Necrogarna. For things that we added in 2 Lumina, 2 Trags, 1 Chaos Sorcerer, 1 Raiden, 1 Skarm. This is one of the things I think I need to explain the most. If you find yourself, because this deck really doesn't play very many back row that you would obviously set, being able to just instantly special summon, it's kind of nice. It also has a 2000, it's just like a 2000 wall, and on top of that, you can use it to tribute summon, like if you find yourself needing to, because you don't have lights or darks in your graveyard for whatever reason, you can easily use it as tribute fodder for Pulsar or Dark Flare. Just kind of something to throw out there, on top of the fact that you can bring it off of Torguide during the end phase of the turn that it's sent to the graveyard. You can add any level 3 Dark Fiend monster from your deck to your hand. So in a way, it's kind of like the whole detached Sangan thing, but it only works for Torguide. So you could easily Torguide, and then the first thing you would bring out would be Skarm. Then you can like detach Skarm for something like Dante, Levier, Alucard, or even Leviathan Dragon. And then during the end of that turn, you just grab another Torguide for like a turn later or whatever, which is really nice. So I mean, there's that. Also, when Dante is sent to the graveyard, you can potentially, like if it's already in your graveyard, you can add it to your hand, so that way you can use it for whatever, whether it be just to special summon it to well, like if you can Torguide or whatever to overlay, or things like that. Or if you need to tribute with it, or just have a free card in your hand, it's just there for it. So I mean, it's just a really interesting one to play in this. I've play tested this several times already, both against like Shaddolls and just whatever, and it's played pretty nicely for me. So it's just something to kind of play around with. So just kind of wanted to get that one out of the way. Lumina is kind of one of those interesting things too. I've actually, like originally I wanted to put in 2 Chalices as well, just to kind of have them. But I found Lumina to be kind of better, just because it allows you to make the Mikhail, it allows you to make things like Black Rose, and if you have the Minerva set up, like in your graveyard or even in your hand, you can discard it, or you can discard something and get it back from your graveyard. So Goyo is always kind of just that good thing to have. You play 5 level 6s in this because we added in another Chaos Sorcerer, and with Raiden you can tune it to Chaos Sorcerer or Pulsar to make Leo, and Leo's always just a really nice card to have. I mean, I don't really need to explain why this card's good, right? I'm kind of hoping I don't. Leo is just a very solid card, and you can make it with Raiden being at 3, and the fact that you have a lot of level 6s to go with, not to mention Trag and copy one of them in the graveyard if you really need to. So there's that. Trag's another card that I really like. It's still capable of taking monsters if you find yourself needing it in that situation. It can also be used as tribute fodder as well as an overlay material. So I mean, there's that. It also can be kind of a big wall depending on how you play things. Like it's kind of, I would say it's a little bit trickier now that they have that you can't draw on turn 1 rule. But it's still a very solid card, and in testing it's been very nice. One of the other things I want to kind of mention is if you want to, because Skarm searches out level 3 Dark Fiends, if you wanted to, you could always try playing Curry Bandit over Card Trooper. I personally found myself liking Card Trooper just because it left a monster on the board, and despite the fact that it didn't mill 5, it still milled 3 out of 5, which is really good. So I mean, there's that. Trying to think here, what else do I need to explain? I don't think I need to explain any of the other monsters. For the spells, the only thing we changed for the spells regarding to what we added was just another solar recharge. And for the things that we dropped Cold Sark, Dark Hole, and Foolish. I would kind of recommend siding the Dark Hole if you intend on playing it still, just because I feel like, again, like Shaddolls are kind of all over the place, and I really don't like the idea of triggering them. Because I mean, like, that just can just be the end of it right there. That can be a huge game changer. So I mean, I feel like it'd be something that you would want to side in rather than want to main. Don't get me wrong, it's still a good card obviously, but I personally just think that in this format it's something that you would rather side, especially in this. So I mean, there's that. And for the traps, we did drop the 2-dimensional prisons in favor of breakthroughs, and because we had room from some of the things that we dropped, like in the spells and in the monsters, we had the room for the 3 trap stuns. MSTs are obviously going to be sided, but having trap stun also kind of allows you to shut down every trap card that your opponent has and allows you to go off. So I mean, I don't know if I need to explain this one too much either. It's still something that's kind of up there. I mean, you can still play MSTs in the main if you find them to be better, but Trap Stun is just really solid for allowing you to get your plays off. I mean, if they happen to have things like Vanity's Emptiness and a whole bunch of other back row, you kind of want to just shut it down, even if it's just temporarily, and get your board set up so that way you can start putting some pressure down. At least that's the way I usually see it and play it whenever I'm like staring down, I don't know, like Vanities or just like a whole bunch of back row, and I want to make a safe play. Trapstone's a really good card for doing something like that, and considering this deck likes to put out a whole bunch of monsters, it's kind of something that you might want to have. But yeah, that's just coming from personal experience, so I mean, that's something that you kind of have to take, however. But yeah, Trapstone's been playing very nicely for me, so it's something I just recommend that you try. If you don't like it, like, there's a lot of things you can replace it with. Like I said, MSC is also something that you could do in the main deck if you really want to. There's just a lot of cards that you can play, but Trapstone's something I heavily recommend that you try playing. Now, like I said, for the extra deck, you were missing one card, so I obviously added something in. You can count that as either the Dante, the Alucard, the Goyo, or the Leo, whichever. But as for the things we dropped a Abyss Dweller, we dropped a Black Ship of Corn, and we dropped a Zenmain. Zenmain's is a solid rank 3, don't get me wrong. Excuse me. But, like, again, it's kind of tricky. You have Liler for the back row, and popping monsters is kind of risky, considering you might still run into the occasional hat deck. Again, there's Shaddolls, there's there's Malbranch, there's a lot of things that just get their things whenever they're sent to the graveyard. So, I mean, and on top of that, you have ways of destroying and taking care of back row already. So Zenmain's is kind of just that stally card. So, I mean, I understand how it's good, obviously, but at the same time, it's kind of eh. If you really do want to continue playing it, you could probably play it over Leviathan, but personally, whenever I used to play Chaos Dragons, and even to this day, I like having the Leviathan Dragon, just because if I want to make it, I can make it and then banish it for the Red Eyes Darkness Metal if I want to bring back, I don't know, Pulsar or something, and go for some serious heavy damage, something like that. Like, I've had many situations where I've actually needed to and have done it and won games because of it. So, I mean, it's kind of up to you whichever one you really want to play. I like Leviathan just because it's that immediate detach that I don't have to require a set card or a banished card to do. Dante does it too, so I mean, if you really want to go for that, that's fine as well. It kind of acts as another Leviathan, so if you really want to keep the Zenmains in, you could probably drop the Leviathan, but having the mill power that Dante gives is very nice to have. So yeah, I already kind of explained Leo and Goyo, so I mean, I don't know if I really need to explain anything else. So, yeah, I do hope that the fixed build works for FlareAlex as well as anyone that decides to play it. I really do think that Chaos Dragons have a lot of potential even right now, and hopefully into the next format, because I've always actually really liked Chaos Dragons. It's just they kind of hugely fell out of favor a while ago, and I really don't know what else to say about it. So like I said, I hope that the fixed build works for FlareAlex as well as anyone else that decides to play it. If you prefer the original build, then by all means. I'm just here to offer fixes and opinions on decks. So there's that. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Like I said at the beginning of this, if you have a deck that you would like to get fixed, be sure to message me here on the NLM YouTube channel page by going to the channel, going to the About section and clicking Send Message, and we accept it in either a typed up form in like Monster Spell Trap Extra Deck, or you can send it in a YDK file via Dropbox, and we can do it that way too, because I use DevPro or Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro to record this stuff. So yeah. So like I said, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and all that other happy crap. And until next week when we do a fun deck profile, this is Team709 signing out.